everybody, welcome to another episode of What a Hell of a Way to Dad. It is Francis and Jack. Jack with me once again from the frigid northwest, because you're over there in Seattle. Jack, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's true. It's like the tundra here. I look, before I got to get this out of the way because I have a bit of a brain parasite that's been stuck in my head for the last 2 months since we talked about Disney adulting. Mm-hmm. For listeners who haven't heard that show, you were talking about all different facets of Disney that you and Beth have learned after years of having been Disney adults and now a Disney family. But there was one thing that stuck out to me, which is the Goofy line. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I get this right. This is like all the cast members there at Disney who are wearing the big, cast, whatever their regalia are, either like the full body costume or dress like Aladdin or whatever. They got to stay in character until they make it backstage to that line where no one can possibly see them break character and talk about these miserable SOBs or like light up their cigarette or whatever.
100%. Yes.
Yeah,
there is, because it's engineered so that there's no way that a guest, like when they open up the door to the backstage area. Yeah. They have it go in a direction that if a cast member or a kid, or I'm sorry, not a cast member, if a kid or an adult or whoever is like, oh, there goes Goofy, bye Goofy, they will stay in character. He'll be gorshing it up, doing his big old Goofy steps and then hit that line. And yeah, that's the you are out of character. You have to stay in character completely here. So it is like, part of me is just like, wow, that's really, that just seems very dictatorship, or just like, don't break the Disney magic here. These kids don't want to see you just like,
don't break the fourth wall. Yeah. Don't
walk like
the
a
magic.
Don't walk like a normal person. You're Goofy. Goofy's got a stride. So
I support it. I totally get it.
On the other hand, as somebody who really likes a good delineation of here's where you start a thing and here's where you end a thing, I 100%. And it's a big yellow line too. It's not like somebody out there with chalk. They're like, no, this is the backstage. This is it. Anybody who's coming back, here's where you got.
Well, here's the brain parasite part. And I'm reminded of this every day. I have my own version of the Goofy line here in Seattle where I live, which is I've been working out for 90 straight minutes, going hard on whatever my rotation is for the day. And then I walk into the locker room and I cross the Goofy line, except on the other side of that line is like a 75-year-old naked man who's bending over actively right as I walk in. So I'm seeing clear up the anus of an old man every single time that I walk into the locker room. And every time I'm like, oh, this is kind of like my Goofy line, except it's not Goofy. It's not disgusting. It's terrible. I don't want to body shame these old men, but for whatever reason, they've decided the best place for them to be is inside the first bay of lockers at the LA Fitness near my house. And they just let it all hang out. And there's a lot to hang.
There's our locker room at the YMCA that we go to has one of those locker areas that it opens up to, but it has a couple of other kind of hidden ones. And I do notice the younger men, and younger being like my age, 40 or 40, 50 and below, tend towards those other ones, those ones that are a little bit more hidden. And I don't like, there's not exactly like, nobody's like, oh, don't look at me. Nobody's in the corner being nervous about it. But everybody is just like, they understand. Nobody wants to turn around and see an asshole.
Yeah, totally. They still have dignity. They want to preserve what dignity they have. Exactly.
Yeah. Like during the winter months, I go in a hot tub at the YMCA because we got a huge hot tub and I love it. The big people soup, as I call it. And when I'm coming out of that, I take my shower afterwards. I'm getting ready to change. I'm not, oh, don't, I've got to, keep the towel covered around me while I drop the swimsuit and I put on. No, I'll get naked, but I'm only going to be naked for 7 seconds.
Sure. Yeah. You're in transition. Right.
Right. There's a drop. I step out and I'm going to do a quick towel and then back up. And look, I have a lot of experience with this being in the Army, because that also is a place where everybody's like, we understand that we might see some dicks and assholes in here.
Yeah,
figuratively and literally.
Yeah. Many of them enlisted, right? Yeah. Exactly.
But we all understand like the literal side of it. And this is the Army. I don't know how the Marines do it. The Marines are a little bit more freewheeling in their locker rooms, so I hear. But yeah, there is that, like, we've got to make sure, not make sure, but just like as a courtesy to those around you, don't just be swinging all the time.
Yeah.
And I know also when you get up into your 70s, you're like moving a little bit slower, but also, it is that that, like, know your surroundings, right? When we're teaching, when we're taught to shoot the anti-tank rifle or the anti-tank AT-4, shoulder-mounted rocket launcher, the big thing is you got to make sure the backblast area is clear. Yeah. And that means that before you shoot a rocket out of the front of this thing, you got to make sure your buddy's not looking up the exhaust line of it, checking to see how it works. He's going to get his face melted off. Same thing, old men that I assume are listening.
Thank you very much for that, Francis, because now I've got a new brain worm, which is backblast zone. Every time I walk in, I'll be thinking about that because I've been in that zone a lot more than I care to have been.
See, and now, because the thing is, before you shoot it, the thing you're supposed to yell is backblast area clear and do a turn to make sure there's nobody, Private Snuffy's not standing right behind you, holding it steady. So that is like when you walk into LA Fitness and you're not seeing an asshole, you can have that in your, good, backblast area is clear.
Backblast zone is clear, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of good looks in that locker room. This is like an urban LA Fitness, and I'm starting to get to know the franchises pretty well in my larger area because my son ends up having like all these drumming things. He's in a couple bands. He plays drum set. So I'll have to drop him off somewhere like in Tacoma, far enough from Seattle that it makes no sense for me to go home. And I got like a 90-minute wait period where his call time happens. The show doesn't start for another 90 minutes. So increasingly, I'll just be looking on the LA Fitness app like, all right, is there a gym nearby where I can just, hang out and wait? So most LA Fitnesses do not suffer from the affliction that our neighborhood one does, which is it's built into an old furniture store, so everything's a lot more cramped. There's much less dignity codified into a reclaimed space like that.
Like when you go to the mini mall LA Fitness, you know that you're gonna get a workout in, but you're not gonna feel great about it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what our situation is here. Like the real LA Fitness, it's like walking into a Best Buy. It's enormous. Everything's been well planned. There's a lot of space, and those old men have lots of little like cul-de-sacs they can go into.
Do you have like a 2-story one? Because like I've seen at some LA Fitnesses, like they'll have weights downstairs and cardio upstairs.
Yeah, that's how ours is laid out. But it's just everything's really compressed because it's a reused space. The real LA Fitness has like a ring of cardio all around, sort of looking down like royalty over all the grunts down below, like on their stupid machines.
Yeah, I mean the enlightened cardio versus the orcish heavy lifter down there.
Oh, just grunting.
Just look at them picking up their heavy things and putting them back down. Not like us who can run for 12 days like a gazelle with no sleep.
Yeah, for sure. So I've seen lots of other things in that local gym locker room that I really care to have not seen. Although some of them are looks that I got to remember that like in 20 years, these are the looks I'm going to be pulling off, I think, because I'll have no dignity. I'll be almost 70. So, a guy walking around completely naked except for just a warm-up jacket on, but bottomless. So
yeah, Donald Ducking it, man.
You get those 2 scoops just right there. Yeah. It's amazing. Like, why are you wearing the top part? It makes no sense.
He's a Donald Duck fan. That's all it's got to be. Party, business up top and party down below.
But I'm the one going. Man.
We've my gym is pretty nice. I used to, back when I didn't exercise more, and things happen. You don't get the time that you want to exercise. But when I would go in there was always like I'm a morning exerciser. I like to wake up, get it out of the way, then have my coffee and my breakfast. I don't even drink coffee before I work out. I'm just in there with a bottle of water, no pre-workout, and just hit it and be done with it. And so there was always a cavalcade of characters, like, because when you're working out regularly at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to see the same also insane people who work out at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And my favorite guy was the guy who he had Navy tattoos. He was incredibly shredded. He looked about 50 years old, 50, maybe mid 50s, but looked good, but still, looked in his 50s, and wore combat boots the entire time. I never saw him do any cardio. He was always just down there lifting, but he had like the brown, for you troops, the brown lace up, like calf length combat boots, and he would just be in there fucking banging it out all day.
Interesting.
He was there before I showed up, and he was there when I would leave in an hour. So I haven't worked out in the morning, but sometimes I have snuck in, trying to restart it, and I don't see him anymore. So he may have moved on to his own Planet Fitness somewhere.
Yeah.
Or LA Fitness or whatever it is. I tell you, Jack, I kind of run into the same situation you have. You talk about having to drive out to Tacoma, and then all of a sudden you find yourself with all this time.
Oh, yeah.
My wife and I, we began, because our daughter does Irish dance. The place that she goes and does Irish dance at is like a quarter of a mile away from a Savers. And I don't know if you have Savers where you're at, but
I've learned about it from you. Yeah. I think it's called Value Village here, but it's the same thing. It's it's discount secondhand stuff, right? Like
exactly.
It's not TJ Maxx. These things have been pre-loved, right? It's not new stuff.
It's below Marshall's but above Goodwill, because Goodwill will go in and they're like, look, all this stuff you will not see it within a week because it all goes in the trash if somebody doesn't buy it.
Yeah, totally.
Like they're constantly rotating it, but like Savers will go in and be like, see the same 17 George Foreman grills all kind of laid out. So many George Foreman grills.
Ooh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I want my wife and I have been, when we talk about when we do our episodes, we're trying to do more of a mother-father advice thing, and eventually one of them is going to be how to save a buck. Places to thrift. And I tell you, if you are out there and if you are a bachelor and you don't know how to cook for yourself, go to Savers or Value Village or Goodwill and find yourself a George Foreman grill. It does everything that you need it to do as a 22-year-old bachelor, and all the fat just drips out. You can just throw it in the sink and hose it off. It's great. It's fantastic. Get yourself one of those. There are always 20 of them available at any secondhand store because they were huge. Did you have a George Foreman grill?
Never had it, but very familiar with it for sure. Yeah. I always wanted to get one and put my face on it and call it the Jack Foreman grill, but I just never got around to it.
You should you should figure out a way to make you put your face into a waffle, because that's also a big. A lot of the stuff that we'll find will be single use. Not single, but one purpose kitchen instruments, right? So I have an Instant Pot, and the Instant Pot made it so I didn't need to keep my crock pot. It made it so I didn't have to keep a steamer. I don't have to have a rice cooker. The Instant Pot does everything, right? So
incredible.
A rice cooker does one thing. It cooks rice, and if you're eating rice all the time, that's great, but we don't. But at Savers, you will find all kinds of things that it has one purpose. The only thing that you can do with this thing is make a pumpkin shaped waffle. Or totally. The only thing you can do with this thing is slice a hot dog. This is made to slice a hot dog. It's one big thing to slice hot dogs into bite-sized chunks for your kid. That's it.
Yeah, perfect little choking corks. Yeah,
exactly. The exact size to get caught in an esophagus.
Regretting parenthood? Try the hot dog corker.
Yeah, somebody, I think my sister-in-law bought me this novelty. It was a wiener dog wiener cutter. And so it was a wiener dog, but it was really long, and it had these little blades in it, and then it had a little bed. So you lay the hot dog onto the dog bed and then push the wiener dog on top of it to slice the hot dogs. That did not stay in this house for very long. Nobody eats hot dogs in this house, first off, let alone in a way where we need to slice it with a novelty wiener dog. But those things always fascinate me. I always love to see somebody who's just I created this. I'll tell you what my favorite thing is, and I bought it and I owned it for 4 months, and then I returned it to Savers. Because you get 20% off your next purchase when you donate to Savers. So you can recycle things.
Hot tip, yeah.
Savers is renting something. If you ever think maybe I would like a bread machine, but I don't want to pay $80 for one, go get a $10 one from Savers, try it out. If you don't like it, you only spent $10 on it.
Smart.
If you find that you're not going to use it. Let me try best to describe this. So it was a toaster oven. We'll start there. So it has a toaster oven element to it. On the side of the toaster element, it has a small drip coffee maker. So you can make about 2 cups of drip coffee on this. And then on top of the toaster oven part of it, you have a griddle.
Oh, my God.
It's an entire breakfast station. So you can make your toast. Yeah. You can griddle on top of it. You can make your little eggs and everything. And whole breakfast package. Have your coffee right there, too.
That's incredible.
Yeah, a fantastic invention. I only kept it for 4 months because I used it once. And it turns out that slamming all the things into one machine hasn't been done very often because it kind of sucks to use. So I used it once, And then I was like, I use a French press if I'm going to make hot coffee anyway, so I don't need to keep all of this. But it was a great, it was fun to find it and put it there and kind of use it and fuck it up and then take it back. It's a whole adventure.
I love that efficiency model. Like, you're working some boring corporate job, you're stuck at your desk, you could just make breakfast for yourself right there at your desk. It's a smart idea. I get the allure.
I feel like it'd be perfect to take into an office and put on your desk at the office. Just constantly be making breakfast for the entire office. Just, like here I am doing data entry and I got to hit a bell every once in a while and be like, David, order up.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. I got that bell here somewhere, too. Yeah. I could ship you the bell. But I like that the quantities are small enough, too, that you're just constantly cooking. You can't make 10 cups of coffee. You can make 2 at a time.
Right. It's really for you. It's like a little personal breakfast maker. So
I love that.
Yeah, we've and that's not really single use. There's multiple uses, but that's really like one kind of thing. But the hot dog cooker, where it's a toaster, and you put 2 hot dogs vertically in it.
I've seen that. Yeah,
and then put 2 buns in it, and then hit the thing, and then it cooks the hot dogs and the buns. That's I don't own one. Again, I don't eat hot dogs, and if I did, I certainly wouldn't pay extra money for fancy buns for hot dogs, let alone toast them like this. But I love the fact that it exists.
Yeah, that was my dad's. I mean, I'm vegetarian. Probably my dad's hot dog consumption rate had something to do with that. But, veggie dogs, you can just microwave, whatever. But my dad was Mr. Hot Dog over the sink probably 5 nights a week. Coming from a broken, split household, he didn't have to make dinner for the whole family. He just needed to figure out how many calories to get in me, and then just lean over the sink and just take down a couple microwave hot dogs. Bam! That is high living.
I definitely find myself doing that often, where I'll make something for my family, and then I'm just like spoon in the pan directly out of them. Like I'm not gonna dirty up another bowl. I have to do the dishes too, so I'm making this easier for me. To just dip a spoon directly into the pan and eat it like this. It's all
efficiency model, yeah. That's the thing that's going to keep me away from Savers, is that one of my greatest pleasures is getting rid of things. Mm-hmm. Like, it's weird, but like finishing a thing of a condiment in the fridge, or assembling like 5 Tupperwares worth of like leftover ingredients into a single meal and getting rid of all that stuff in the dishwasher is like one of my greatest joys of all time. Likewise, filling the trunk and going to Goodwill and getting rid of stuff. I love it. Like, my kids hate it. I'm constantly like going through the rooms like, hey, you still use this? You still need this? This doesn't fit anymore, right? Could we get rid of this? Like, I am Mr. Minus around the house. So the idea of willingly going to a store and acquiring new things for me, it's sort of against my my religion. It's probably a variant of OCD, but it keeps the house clean. So I'm not complaining too much about it.
Oh, right. I can understand that. And we have that same kind of give and pull, because we've got a basement that's full of shit that like I'm either trying to sell on Marketplace, or we just need to throw in the back of the van and take it to Savers. So we are of a similar mindset. We just have a lot bigger of a mountain to go up with some of it, I think. And our acquisitions, like the last thing that we got from Savers was a new dresser. And we got this really nice, really tall, like 5-foot tall dresser. All the pulls on it were really nice. Had a little bit of damage to it, but we got it for like $40. And this was right. And so we now, like, we used to go to Savers and just be like, oh, this looks nice. I like this. Doing that, like, oh, this pings nicely in my brain. I want it. And then you take it home and you put it on the table and you're like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with this thing now?
Oh, I got to dust around that now.
Right.
One more thing to clean up.
Right. When we go, we try to like have some kind of purpose. Like, for a while I was going specifically because I wanted to find a record player. And, it took me a couple months, but I found a decent record player for like $15. So it's not so much we love to go in and acquire things. We like the hunt. We like to know, not only do I need something, but I refuse to pay full price for something good. I want to pay half price for something shitty. And finding those little diamonds in the rough, because you will bring home a lot of shitty things sometimes. But if you know what you're looking for and you're patient and you kind of keep showing up, like we do, because our daughter does Irish dance. So it's our date night on Wednesday. We have about 90 minutes to just kind of go and wander around Savers and pick things up and say, look at this. Huge, extensive record collection there too. Always new records. So
yeah, that's killer.
It's got a little something for everybody.
I like the hunt part of it. And I certainly am cheap, so I appreciate that element too. Like, yeah, why spend retail when you can score yourself a deal? But I think I'm just too much by my nature a tactical shopper. Like my wife went to the grocery store the other day and was in and out in like 5 minutes. And she's like, that was the weirdest feeling I've ever had. Like I just went in, I got 3 things and I left and I looked at my watch and it had only been literally 5 minutes. And I'm like, dude, those are rookie numbers. We can get those down. We can get that down to 2 minutes. Like I want to spend the least possible time under fluorescent lighting. I don't want to wait in line. I don't want to evaluate options. I just want to get in there, get the thing. Like, I don't want to break my stride when I'm walking in the aisle. That's how I know I'm doing a good job shopping. When I see the thing, I clock it from like 8 feet away. I reach out and I'm able to grab it and keep walking. I do not want to hang out in that place at all.
I can understand that. But have you ever been to a Costco? Because that place will suck you in.
Oh, no, but I'm the same way at Costco, too. And
really?
Yeah. That is like supreme level end game tactical shopping.
I can see that. So you've got a brain where you want minimal things. And so the more things that are in a store like Costco, which like not only is just an open warehouse, but just like towering stacks of things over you, like on
nothing
the above
but
rafters.
Stuff. This stuff will ruin your life. There's so much stuff. Yeah,
exactly. No, it doesn't matter what you get hit by a pallet of. If you get hit by a pallet of anything, you're gonna be smoked. But I can understand that. That is a very sensory overloading kind of place. But me, I'm the Jack Skellington. I'm picking things up and I'm like, what's this? What's this? What's this? Because I don't leave the house very often, Jack. So when I go and Costco's done, it's, they always change up their seasonal stuff. There's always like new snacks and there's, different boxes of things. And like, look at, these chips that we used to get aren't here, but these new chips are here. All right. For a while, they had these gigantic bags of Cool Ranch Doritos and I was in fucking heaven with that. So,
that is a dream. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So Costco is kind of the one. And here's what I like about Costco, because it is a one-stop shop. It has everything I need.
Everything. They got tires. It's insane.
Yeah. I buy my clothes from Costco. Like I'm 43. I don't need to put on airs. I'll wear, the $10 tech pants from Costco. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
So it really works out for it. But I get it. It's there's a lot going on in there.
I don't mind the overload. You are the person that I am actively trying to avoid in that store. Like my experience of going through the aisles at Costco is very similar to the experience of skiing like a Black Diamond mogul run, where you got to pick your line and you have to sort of anticipate where other skiers are going to be, like, 5 or 6 turns down the way. I'm like that in the aisle with all you looky-loos, like, oh, look at this Ferrero Rocher. Oh, that's a pretty good price. You think we need how many of these do you think we need? People getting sucked into the cheese area. Like, yeah, I am so far ahead of you. I'm like 8 moves ahead.
Yeah. See, and you and Beth are gonna work out great because she's the same way. She's the one grabbing me and being like, "Where the hell did you leave the cart this time?" Because that's what I'll do. I'll see something and I'll be like, "I'm gonna park the cart here," and I'll see something, and then I see something else, and then I see something else, and then it's 5 minutes later, and I'm like on the other side of the store somewhere because I have ADHD. And Beth will just be like, where did you leave our cart? And thankfully, nobody ever steals carts at Costco if you've already got stuff in it. But good Lord, yeah, I will. And she'll go and grab it. And sometimes she'll grab me and be like, will you stop wandering in the middle of the aisles? Like, just because, yeah, I'm all over the place in Costco. There's all kinds of things to look at. Again, I sit in my basement or my pod shack, and that is where I exist for the most part.
Yeah, so you need the stimulation. Well, Costco's a good place to get it.
And they got snacks and dollar hot dogs.
That was going to be my next question. Do you get sucked into those, and will you stop and enjoy it?
Yes, we'll always stop for a free snack.
Will you engage the vendor in conversation about this product? Because they've got a lot to tell you about it.
It depends. Like, they're always very good to just say, here's what it is, and here's where you can find it, and don't push it any further. Yeah. Now, if you stop and engage, they will tell you all about it and tell you whatever you want to know. But generally, no. I'm generally doing the buzz by and grabbing the snack with a little thank you. I'm always thanking them for their service, for giving me a little service. doing more for the American population than I ever did in the Army. I'll tell you that. So
keeping them fed. That's important. Maslow's hierarchy. That's right there.
Right. I mean, I spent 20 years in the Army, but she gave me half of a chicken nugget. So Who's doing more?
What is their incentive in Costco? Like those free food pushers, they're not working on a commission, right? They are purely they're not there as agents for particular brands. They are employed by Costco and they're just trying to get some buzz going about these products, but they don't care if you get it or not, right? Or is that or if they do care, it's because it's going to end up on their evaluation about like how persuasive they are, maybe, but they're not getting a cut.
No, from what I understand, they are not Costco employees. They are
really
right. That they are. I don't know if it's the food companies or something else, but they don't work for Costco. They don't work at that store for Costco. Now, do they work if they work for Kirkland or if they work for something else? I don't know, but they're not employees of the store from what I understand.
Well, there are a few different flavors of those people. Like they're the ones when you exit Costco that are standing by all the big ticket home renovation projects, like the window person or the HVAC AT&T person. Yeah. Oh, and on the way in, right, there's the people that are manning there's like maybe pots and pans, or maybe there's someone next to Apple products, or like the AT&T store. I always assumed those were all independent contractors that are connected to those brands, but I'm talking people like at the end cap of the aisle. They're standing next to dill pickle flavored popcorn balls, and they're putting them in little cups. They don't work for Costco?
I don't believe so. And our Costco, I do believe that it's correct that it is not a Costco employees, that they are some kind of marketing for the product itself.
Yeah.
Because our Costco will show up and there will be people who have like multiple like little crock pots going, and we'll have all kinds of dips that you can try, and all kind of I've seen it that way. I've seen probably a popcorn one too, but I've seen some really usually it's just like a little old lady at a table with she's got either a little hot plate that she's cooking stuff on, or she's got a little oven. But these guys, they have a whole U-shaped thing going on. They're taking up a lot of space.
Sometimes they do straight up cooking shows. Like they've got the headset mic on and everything.
Oh, yeah.
You just said it and forget it.
Yeah. Or the vitamin water people. I think one of the people who are trying to get you to drink whatever vitamin water, and I've seen some of those bigger displays of come on, try little shots of all these vitamins that are different colors. I don't go for it, but that makes me think that they're not Costco.
All right, I'm going to find out
something else.
I'm going to take this one for the team. Next time I'm at Costco.
If you're a Costco employee, call in, man.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll get you on the show. We'll talk about Costco.
Dude. Oh, I'd love to be there. I don't even want to contribute to that show. I just want to be a silent partner on the...
I'm just listening
on
to
the
me
stream. I want to watch it as it's happening. That is fascinating.
There was a period of time, and I may try to bring it around, where I just wanted to do special interests. And just what can you talk about for an hour with me? Yeah. Come on the show and talk about it for an hour. Whatever it is, whatever niche thing, because I enjoy talking to people about their special interests. I don't get bored with that. It's because if you're excited about it, I'm going to be excited about it. I'm going to be mirroring that kind of thing. This weekend, we went to Jefferson Barracks, which is an old military base that is just south of us in St. Louis County, but not St. Louis City. And they have all kinds of little museums on them. They have an ordnance museum. And ordnance is bombs, for those of you who don't know. And so I walked in there with my daughter, and there was a old Australian man who was running it, 80-year-old Australian man who married an American. He told us all about his wife who passed last year, just really going on. And then just offloading all this stuff about bombs and here's a RPG, you can pick it up and put it on your shoulder. Here's, all these things. And my daughter is getting incredibly nervous the entire time. She's like, I'm in a room full of explosives.
Yeah.
Because Jack, this is not a museum that is well curated by, this is a guy's collection, this is a long building that a guy was just I have a bunch of different kinds of bombs that are inert. I should put them in here and write little notes about them and charge people $5 to look at it.
Yeah.
100% my favorite kind of thing. Yeah. So my daughter, after about 10 minutes, was going cross-eyed and was like, I don't want to be in here anymore. I can't deal with this.
Understand that, yeah.
I sent her out, and the guy's just like, well, should I refund the money? Do you want to go? He's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no. I'm here for your special interest. I'm here to talk about this Stinger missile that you got, and all of these, the JDAM that you have back here, and all of the different artillery stuff. I'm here for that. I was having troubles because I'm trying to manage my daughter, who's not having a great time and who's trying to be polite, but really wants to leave because, this is a old man who talks funny and she's in a room full of bombs. She's not comfortable, as it turns out. So,
well, and turns out you got at least $10 worth of enjoyment out of that museum. So it was worth it.
Well, I'm a veteran, so I got in for free. I had to pay the $3 for the kid. And I told the guy, like, no, you keep it. You buy more fake bombs or something with it. I don't know. So if you have a special interest and you think that you could talk to me about something for an hour on a microphone or 45 minutes to an hour, we could definitely do that. I would love
35 minutes, 22 minutes, 15 minutes.
Whatever you're comfortable with, we'll throw it up there. If you've got something like, if you really, I'm gonna pump the brakes if you're a Warhammer guy though. I can't, because we don't have time for that. We do not have the length of time to do anybody to special interest me on Warhammer. But, if you worked at Costco or if you got something, let me know. We'll
I want to find out about Costco. But in the meantime, I'm going to do research. I was just there because gas is so expensive right now. I was just looking for things to get at Costco to make it make sense to drive out of my way to fill up at our local Costco. So I was just there like 3 days ago. It's going to be a bit, but next time I'm there, I'm going to write myself a note to just ask a few sample people. So what's your deal? What's
going on here?
Are you a W-2? Are you a 1099? Who do you work for? This is what I want to find out. Are you on commission?
Who's behind this?
Yeah. Follow the money.
Take me to Mr. Kirkland right now.
I'm going to be your deep throat, okay? Next time that I'm here, I'm going to give you all the information. I will be smoking in a parking garage, so the audio is going to be terrible, but it'll be worth it.
So, Jack, this weekend was my birthday.
Hey, happy belated birthday.
Yeah, so this past weekend...
You just said you were 43. I should have clocked that, because you didn't used to be 43.
I didn't. I am now 43.
You are no longer the answer to everything.
No. Didn't even do anything really special for my 42nd. I don't really do the birthday
I don't
things. Either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like people making a fuss. But we did... What else did we do on my birthday? Oh, so we went to a No Kings protest, which was very fun. Did you guys manage to get out to any?
Oh, yeah. We went to the big one in Seattle, and it was very inspiring and exceedingly lousy with people. There were so many people there, 100,000 people. Yeah, it was crazy.
We did. We took the family out. My daughter was very nervous about it because she's like, it's going to be loud and full of people. And we're like, yeah, that's, it's a protest. It's all happy sounds. It's all great and wonderful. And so we were there and we got out of the van and we kind of walked along the line. I think we got about a good 45 minutes in because also I was having the same problem. It's like, it's so loud and full of people. I'm glad we're all happy. I'm glad we're all here. I'm glad I got out and was one of the numbers. But yeah, it is very people-y. So if you are having that, I'll tell you. And what I said, we can do next time is if we're not comfortable being in the protests, you can always drive by and have signs out too.
Good idea.
We saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of people kind of driving by, a lot of horn honking, obviously, but also, driving by, having their own signs up in the window or out the window, kind of slowing down. So it's I feel like that was a good way to be a part of it. But also, if you're not into the crowds and if you're not into having to park and deal with parking, it's a really nice setup there.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We saw a fair number of looky-loos sort of on the edge of the marching route. And, from their perspective, they were just watching a parade that they were emotionally invested in.
Exactly.
And it's smart. Yeah, good way to do it on your own terms in a way that you can sustain, I guess.
Yeah, we're always looking for because I jokes like what we need is like a sensory friendly protest. Like everybody just goes and is like, we're all here, but we're very quiet.
Yeah,
which of course kind of defeats the whole purpose of a protest, right? But
the sign game was like off the charts this time. It was some of the best signs. Yeah.
We saw some good ones. We had inflatable SpongeBob at ours, a couple of inflatable, a lot of the inflatables, like that's really big right now. For a hot minute, it was really big for people to buy that like rubber horse mask thing.
Oh, right.
Like, do you remember that? Like when
I have
Vine,
one. Yeah, totally.
Okay. Yeah, that was back in the old days of Vine. That was really popular. But now the inflatable outfit seems to be what the kids like to go to protests in.
Yeah. A few years ago, we went on a 3-week trip to Europe. I don't remember where, but we made it back. And our first stop back in Seattle was at Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. And I stayed in the car. My wife and kids went inside to like go to the hot bar and just get something to eat. I think we'd been, traveling forever. And I looked through the window and there were 4 inflatable dinosaurs just walking around in the store, like inside Whole Foods. And I just had the thought of like, we're back, baby. America. It's so good.
Usually it's some sort of TikTok thing, but that's fine. I like the kids being out and being weird about it.
Yeah, totally.
We didn't have tell me that we wouldn't have been protesting in the exact same things if we had been protesting correctly in the 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, or even the 80s. We would have been all over the streets for the Iran-Contra affair if only we'd had inflatable
rights. That's the real protest. Like, yes, there's a solidarity. Yes, there's the networking, but also we have wacky waving inflatable tube guys now, so we can have a party.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. So our kids didn't end up going to the protest. We let them choose. They've been to several, particularly during the first Trump administration when the women's marches were happening, like in 2017, 2018. We went to a bunch of those. Likewise, George Floyd related protests happening in 2020. I think they kind of have gotten their fill. Like they know what to expect. They're on board policy wise, but they're just like, it feels like a schlep, and I just want to be home. And I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, I get it. Your kids are teenagers, so like, let them sit and play Switch instead, I guess.
Yeah, and it was mostly older people at the rally that we went to. I mean, people upper 30s and up, probably. I didn't see a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of surprising. I figured that I would, but I saw someone online make that point of like, we're all old enough that our idea of civic engagement is still a 3-dimensional in-person experience. And for kids who have grown up with the internet, their idea of civic engagement is exclusively a digital thing and don't think of it as much as a physical in-person thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but that certainly correlates with what we were seeing on the ground, which is there were very few kids there. Maybe some kids that tagged along with their parents, but like I saw no high school age kids as far as I could tell at all, which is crazy. I mean, it was in the middle of the most, the hippest neighborhood in Seattle, tons of people, great music, like there was so much going on. And yet, it was mostly AARP members and up who were there.
And that's something we pointed out to our daughter because, again, she was nervous. And I said, like, everybody who's passed by us as a grandma going to this protest. Like they've been protesting for years, and we did it. We had some kids, in the younger, we ran into plenty of kids like were like, 10 years old or so. I saw some high schoolers, but I don't know. I also didn't protest. I wasn't politically motivated. I know maybe the high school kids are more now, but like it could just be the exact same things that when our parents were in their 40s and like, why don't you kids, give a shit? And it's because we're kids. We just don't give a shit. We're 17 years old. A 17-year-old is, more concerned about what he's got going on than the rest of the world. So I kind of understand why it's usually older people. We have, seen that our skin is in the game more than your average high schooler, because a high schooler that age, 18 and below can still, I'm not going to say be protected from a lot of the biggest fallout, but, it's not hitting them directly. They're not the ones that are having to do the budget, when prices are going up. So I don't know, maybe we'll see them all out there again in 20 years.
Yeah. And maybe the exclamation point isn't quite as obvious now as it was in 2017 when it was such a watershed time, like a huge, social political upheaval. How different things felt culturally in America from one year to the next with the advent of the Trump administration. And then since then, like even the Biden years were still colored by that same energy and a weird ass time with the pandemic and everything. So, for the last, 10 years now, we've kind of just been doing variations on the same thing. So the novelty's not quite there so much. So yeah, my son is a freshman in high school, but we've been having conversations about the Trump administration since he was like 6. It's not new. It seems perpetual at this point. So, how do you go out and protest something that you almost don't have memory of it being any other way, you know, like, I don't know.
And that is, as people have pointed out, you know, a lot of times the older, you know, old people older than us will, you know, shake their fists about Reagan. And then, you know, our generation comes like, oh, they keep talking about Reagan. Fuck Reagan. You know, I don't want to talk about Reagan anymore. And now we do the exact same thing about the Bush administration and also the Reagan administration as well. But it, you know, when I was 10 years old, Clinton was president, and like, you know, this was pre Monica Lewinsky, still the very early stages, and you know, not a great person, to be fair. No president is, and certainly the way that the country was not perfect. But it was at least to a point where nobody had to like explain it to me. Like, here's what's going on. You might see videos of police officers beating the shit out of people on YouTube while you're just scrolling cat videos, and I need to explain this to you. Like, it is, I hope that there is going to be more as the kids grow up, like wanting to protest it, because our generation is telling them this is not normal. You shouldn't be seeing this. You shouldn't have to deal with this, because we certainly didn't. And you can see how it's done now, and you can see how it's fucking everybody up. So
yeah. So we have our family road trip to the Midwest coming up really soon. And just randomly last night at dinner, our daughter said, we should rent a Jeep while we're driving around. And I said, you know, it's actually pretty close. We rented a Bronco. And she's like, what's a Bronco? And my wife was like, well, a Bronco's the car that O.J. Simpson went on his police chase in. And both of our kids were like, what? What are you talking about? So we spent the next half hour talking about the O.J. Simpson trial and like how crazy that was culturally at a time for Americans. It was the first time that, you know, TV cameras had been let into courtrooms like that, and like how it was the conversation on everyone's mind. Like, it was still such a monoculture then, you know, talking about like all the nuances of the OJ trial. But also I remember when I was just finishing junior year of high school. I was 17, out to dinner with a bunch of friends, and one of my friends' dad, who was paying for everything. We're at this really fancy downtown restaurant in Seattle, and then looked over at the bar area, and all the TV screens were showing the same footage of a white Bronco being chased by police cars. Like, I'll never forget that moment. We had no idea what was coming, you know, like how universal this experience was going to be for Americans. But it is so funny to like have lived long enough to look back at historical moments like that and be able to see them in full in ways that are so unbelievably insane viewed within our current context. Like, kids can't really understand what it's like to live in a monoculture from their perspective, like what it was like to have, like, we call it live television. I mean, it wasn't live, but even how do you explain that when you used to watch TV, it would just be beamed into your house and you had to watch it at that moment, or there was kind of no way to see it any other way. Like, they were like, what are you even talking about? Like, I've never felt older than I felt trying to explain the OJ chase and trial to our kids last night.
And I have to say, I also love that you are much like me, in which somebody asked a very simple question and you over-explained it.
Yeah, watch out, kids. You're going to regret that question.
Because the question was, what's a Bronco? And the answer is, it's just a really big SUV. But you guys decided to take it down a different pathway.
Yeah, we went hard. It's so true.
Right. It's like, this is a good time to teach the children about 90s news media, I think.
All right, got 45 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We're going to make sure our children never ask another question again.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It is funny that things got very quiet in the house when that conversation got done. Like, all right, we're done.
Your kid's trying to like gauge dad's reaction. Like, all right, is he in an explaining mood? If I ask him about a math question, is he going to go talking to me about Archimedes, or is he just going to give me the damn answer? You know,
don't ask dad right now. He's feeling chatty. He's going to dad-splain it to us.
He's looking at dad memes and giggling to himself. He's in a mood. Don't go near him.
Don't go near him. He's got a hair trigger right now. Yeah. Classic dad.
Well, Jack, I think that's going to make a podcast.
Yeah, man.
As always, everybody, thank you for listening. You can get more podcasting on patreon.com/hellofaWayToDie. We have multiple episodes that go up every month. Like I said, I talked to my wife. Jack and I are talking Twin Peaks, where we're going to be...
Speaking of episodes, we got some Twin Peaks episodes to talk about soon.
This was the first, like, so I watched our next two episodes. And just a little peek behind the corner. So we're on we watched the pilot, and we'll have watched the next 2 episodes.
Yes.
And my wife said that when we're finishing episode 3, she was just watching me to gauge my, like, how is he going to react to this?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And it was my first, just like, if I was just watching this, like if somebody's like, hey, come on, we're going to watch Twin Peaks and, it's on, this would have been my first off ramp where I've been like, no, what are you doing? No. But we're committed,
wow.
Jack. I'm committed because it's inside of Agent Cooper's brain, so that's okay. We'll explore. I like Agent Cooper on the outside. I'm excited to see what he's like on the inside of his brain too. So we'll go for it. But boy, that was a lane change. That was a paradigm shifting without a clutch right there.
Yeah, I told you. I told you there was something on the way, but for anyone that hasn't listened to the pilot episode of Twin Peaks that Francis and I discussed recently, it's not too late to jump on that train. You can stream Twin Peaks anywhere. We're going to talk in depth about each episode and Francis's novice reaction. I've seen these episodes so many times, although it was really fun to go through. I just finished episode 3 this morning, right before we started talking, and took notes on all the salient details, and it's interesting rewatching through the lens of how would this feel to someone who's never watched it before. So if you've ever thought about watching Twin Peaks, this is such a great on-ramp for that experience. And I have the drop. In fact, I'll just play it at the end of this episode. I have the sound clip of you, Francis, saying, I don't care how weird it gets. I'm sticking with this show all the way to the end. So just for the record, I've got it sealed. It's already explicitly there.
I am 100% committed. Like, because here's the thing, this part is weird, but I have loved this show up until this point, and I'm willing to keep my mind open. Like I said, I know this is a whole inside of Special Agent Cooper's brain kind of situation, and I know it gets real weird. So I'm committed. I'm into it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go there. So we will continue those over on the Patreon. But the first episode, the pilot episode, is free. You can listen to that. You can decide if you think that this is something you want to be involved in too.
Oh, you should. You totally should.
We're gonna watch it all.
What are you doing?
Either the movies, the animated spinoff, I'm sure there's gonna be. We need a spinoff. We need the One-Eyed Jack spinoff.
Whoa, yeah, that's going to be on Skinamax.
Yeah,
wait, there's an animated version? Why don't I know about this?
Look, we're gonna fully explore the Twin Peaks extended universe. We're gonna go on AO3 and we're gonna read some fanfic. I'm sure there's some Harry S. Truman and Agent Cooper kissing scripts in there that we can read. We can really get in. We can really get in there. So
yeah, we're shipping those two.
Yeah. Whew. See, we got to listen to it. Look how fucking weird I'm getting with it. All right,
you're getting pretty weird about it.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Toodaloo.
I'm saying it right now, Jack. We're doing every episode.
Okay.
We're going start to finish. There's no bailing out. I have watched trash ass TV before in my time. So if some episodes are a little bit lacking, that's fine, because I'm going to come on here and you're going to explain them to me and be able to point out all the callbacks and everything.